Good morning, everyone. I'd like to welcome everyone to our Mishnah in the morning with myself, Rabbi Hackenbroch. We are up to the 10th chapter of Sanhedrin, and today's learning we are dedicating in memory of Martel Bas Meir, Janet Bat Chabibat David, Avram ben Mordechai HaKohen, as well as Leah Bas Feivel, Tzivia Bas Mordechai, Avram ben David Slavin, Shlomo ben Israel Morris, Eliezer ben Shmuel Teret, Eliezer Shalom ben Avram Shmuel Beres, Zipporah Fegela Bas Reuven Baruch, and Shalom ben Aliyah Lee. We wish all the families long life and only simchas in the years ahead. So we continue. Yesterday we discussed in the 10th chapter of Sanhedrin, we were discussing about those that have an entitlement to the next world, what we call Olam Haba, the next world. And we discussed, it was quite a bit intricate, as we discussed about the fact that there are two opinions as to what exactly is the next world. Is it the world that we go to, the soul goes to immediately when it departs this world? Or is it after the resurrection of the dead, which is a stage later when it will have its final, that will be its final place, the next world, when our bodies are reconnected with our souls. So we also discussed yesterday, just to bring everyone up to speed, about those that do not have a place in the world to come, those that deny the basic tenets of Judaism, therefore they would be excluded. So we move on today to discuss about specific people that are excluded because either they have not, they deny basic tenets of Judaism, or they have undermined certain key precepts and concepts. We'll see now. So Shlosha Malachim va'Arba Hedyotos ein lahem chelek l'olam haba. There are three kings and there are four regular people who are excluded from the next world. Who are the three kings? So there's Yoravam, Jeroboam, Achav, Manasseh, and Manasseh. Okay, so these are the three kings. Presumably, the fact that it gives these three names, it means these are the only three kings. Everyone else does. All the other kings did have a place in the world to come. These were out and out wicked people that denied, that were involved in idolatry, etc., and therefore they were not entitled to their place in the world to come. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Manasseh yesh lo chelek l'olam haba. Rabbi Yehuda says that Manasseh does have a place in the world to come because he actually, towards the end of his life, he immersed himself into teshuvah, repentance, and therefore he had a second lease of life, as it were. He had a second chance, and therefore he does have a place in the world to come. He brings a pasuk to prove the point. We'll move on. The dispute is, we know that Manasseh was returned to his kingship. So if he once again was king, does that mean that God gave him the nod, as it were, and said, I recognize I'm giving you this kingship because you have been a good boy, and therefore you deserve your place in the world in the world to come because you have done teshuvah? Or does God turn around and say, this is what you're getting, this and no more? So that's the dispute between the two of them. It's interesting. One second. Let's move. There are three normal people that we say in the Mishnah that do not have their place in the world to come. So the Mishnah said, Arba Hedyotos, four normal people, right, non-kings, and they are Bilam, right, and we've got Doeg, and we've got Achitophel and Gehazi. And we know that Bilam is perhaps the most well-known. Bilam, of course, was the great prophet of the non-Jewish world, who was employed and trusted by King Balak to try to curse the Jewish people and to eliminate that threat. And we know that he didn't succeed. He was somebody who was exceptionally decadent and immoral, but he recognized he was a very wise man, and he wanted to die, as it were, righteous, so that he would have a place in the next world. And the idea was that he was prepared to die performing a sanctification of God's name, but not to live a sanctifying God's name. And he said to himself that if I give up my life voluntarily, then I will have a place in the world to come. But if I am killed, then I won't. But the point being that we see Balaam was a non-Jewish prophet, and we see that he knew that if he managed and succeeded in sanctifying God's name in his passing, then it was potentially the opportunity was there for him to have a place in the world to come. So we learn an important concept from this Mishnah, and that is that non-Jews also are entitled to a place in the world to come, providing that they are what we call Chasidei Umos, providing they are the righteous of the world, right? The righteous of Gentiles. And to be righteous, it doesn't mean that God expects them to all perform heroic acts that we, Yad Vashem, see their names, the righteous Gentiles. That's not what it means. A righteous Gentile in the eyes of the Torah is the fact that he keeps the 7 Noahide laws. He's ethical, he's moral, he doesn't worship idols, etc., etc. And if they do that, they also have their place in the world to come. So it's a fascinating concept, and we see the fundamental difference between Judaism and the other faiths, in that the other faiths, either you are proselytized and you become and accept and adhere to their faith, you become a Muslim, you become a Christian or Catholic, or if not, you are damned. Whereas Judaism says, no, we don't need you to be Jewish. Okay, it's fine for all the other nations of the world to remain the nations of the world, providing that they adhere to the 7 Noahide laws, they're ethical, they're moral, they accept God, and therefore they will bring the world to its completion. So even non-Jews, we see from this Mishnah, have their place in the next world. We just got a couple of minutes. I'm going to start the next Mishnah, and that is that there were certain generations where the whole generation were not worthy of the world to come. How could a whole generation, a whole civilization, not be worthy of the world to come, I hear you ask? So it says, Dor Hamabo, the generation of the flood at the time of Noah, so they were not worthy of having their place in the next world. And he brings a verse to prove that, and we'll have a look at that tomorrow. And also we go on to speak about the generation of Sodom. Sodom was the most, we speak even today about Sodom being a place of complete institutionalized vicious wickedness, evil incarnate, and therefore such a place were not worthy, because that was the whole generation were like that. Similarly with the generation of the flood, they were all like that. So we'll pause there because it's a very long Mishnah tomorrow, and we will move on to saying Psalm 23. Lovely to have so many people that are joining us this morning. Lovely to see you. A reminder that tomorrow we have our special guest by popular demand, who broke the records of having a lot of people last Friday. And Yosef will be back tomorrow to do the Mishnah. I don't even know if he's aware of it, but by popular demand, he's doing it. So we now recite Psalm 23 when we have in mind to affirm our faith and to ask the Almighty to heal the world and all the wrongs that are in it. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He causes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even when I walk in the valley of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You set a table before me in the presence of my adversaries. You anointed my head with oil. My cup overflows. May only the goodness and kindness pursue me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord for the length of days. We now recite a memorial prayer. Once again, we wish long life to all those that have Yortzeit today, and also all those that are currently saying Kaddish. They're in their year and they don't have the opportunity of saying Kaddish, so we learnt the Mishnah in its place. Es nishmas Martel bas Meh, Yanit bas Chabi bas David, Abram ben Mordechai Kohen, Shalom ben Aliyah Li, Leah bas Bible, Zevia bas Mordechai, Abram ben David Slavin, Shlomo ben Yisrael Morris, Eliezer ben Shmuel Teret, Eliezer Shalom ben Abram Shmuel Berest, Zipporah Begel bas Reuven Baruch, Shalchuli Alamam, Began Eiden Tehei Menucha, Sam Lachein Balarachamim, Yasti Rein Beseita Kadafabli Alamim, V'yitzobas Achai Misnishmasam, Adonai Nachlasam, V'yanucham Mishkavam B'Shalom, v'nomar amen. Wish you all long life, all those that are saying Kaddish or would be saying Kaddish today. And lastly, we recite a Refuah Shalema prayer, a prayer for everyone who is unwell, that they should be healthy and they should stay well. Mishabech Avasenu Avram Yisrael Yaakov Moshe Aaron David Shlomo Hu Yavarech Rapes Achelim Coronavirus Bavo She'anu Mispalim Bavuram V'Zchazek HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yimalei Rachum Aleihem Lachma Lefosam Yishlach Lehem Refuah Shalema Neshamaim L'chol Avim B'soch Shah Chol Yisrael Refuah HaNefesh Refuah HaGuf Hashta Bagala Uvizman Karib V'Nama Amen. Well, that's it, friends. We'd like to thank everyone for joining us tonight. We have this coming up. Let's just see if we can put it on. No, we can't, but it'll come up afterwards. And that is, we have a challenge set to me by the NHS in Manchester to make a seven-tiered cake in 25 minutes. That's tonight at 8:05 after we clap for the NHS. We'll be baking for the NHS. Please join me as there is chaos in the kitchen. 8:05 tonight. Look forward to seeing you all there. Take care. Have a great day.